Originally announced for Xbox Series consoles back in May of 2020, Bright Memory Infinite is finally here, just over 2 years later. It is surprisingly short, but pretty damned fun while it lasts. Nice graphics, solid performance most of the time, and decent if imbalanced controls are matched with a nonsense story, constantly repeating music, and poor dialogue. It is very much the Michael Bay of melee and ranged power-based first-person shooters, so let's get into it in the XboxEra review of Bright Memory Infinite. You are Agent Shelia of the Science Research Organization. Much like the original Bright Memory, you are tasked with stopping the evil SAI military organization from doing terrible things. Shelia is a ninja soldier badass that has a specialized set of weapons and a super suit that allows for extremely high mobility and incredible feats of melee damage with her sword. The Xbox version of the game is known as the Platinum Edition, and you can of course dress this super soldier up in bikinis, cat outfits, and casual wear to your heart's content. There are even flesh pink weapon skins for the included shotgun, assault rifle, handgun, and sniper. The story finds Shelia being called into action to investigate an atmospheric disturbance. The original Bright Memory title was roughly 45 minutes long, and I ended up clearing this one on normal difficulty in about 1 hour and 28 minutes. Throughout my time, I fought 3 or 4 different SAI soldier types, a handful of different ancient soldiers, and a few mythical beasts and bosses, and it was really good and very dumb fun. The story makes no sense, is completely forgettable, and simply serves as a reason to go from one combat arena to the next. Unfortunately though, there's one section of the game which is based entirely around stealth, and it is boring as hell. It's not tough, at least not on normal difficulty, but it is the classic be spotted once and you lose mechanic, and it's in a very fast-paced action game. It just feels unnecessary and only there to keep the game from being even shorter. At least the meter for being spotted is extremely generous, and while that story isn't anything special or even decent, the combat is, so let's get into that. First things first, A is your jump with both a double jump and a wall run unlocked from the start. B is your sideways and backward dash. X interacts and picks up with items, and Y is your sword attack. Right bumper is a parry or block depending on when it's used, and is key to defeating most of the more formidable enemies. Left bumper is a pull the enemy in when held down, and an EMP attack when tapped. Left trigger aims and right trigger shoots. Most of the time. There were a few times where after switching weapons, the right trigger just didn't work for a few seconds though. Outside of the stealth section, this is a incredibly fast-paced game. B while running is a really powerful slide, and you are going to need to keep moving around during the more intense firefights as Shelia can't take that much damage before going down. There is also a weapon and ability upgrade system tied to reliquaries, which can be found throughout your playthrough or created by earning 100 relics, which you get from either breaking boxes or killing enemies. The reliquaries are used to unlock extra left bumper and sword-based moves, as well as buff your special ammo, which is tied to each of your 4 weapons. The first weapon is an assault rifle that has 40 rounds per clip, and an alternate fire of a tracking high-damage shot. The next unlock is a shotgun with a 20-round drum mag and a massive fire damage special ammo that is really overpowered. You'll get a handgun third, which acts more like an SMG and has a freaking rocket launcher for specialized ammo that hits like a truck. Finally comes a very satisfying high-caliber sniper rifle that has a kinda weak sticky grenade as its special. Playing on normal, I never once came close to running out of regular ammo for any weapon, but I would go through my special ammo quickly because it is broken in how hard it hits once you've upgraded it just a few times. Your Y button sword attack doesn't hit the bosses the hardest, but it will stun lock most enemies once their shields are down. To take down those white bar shielded enemies, you'll need to time your right bumper parry to knock off a chunk of the shield, or just hit them with some high-powered special ammo. It's not really balanced well, but it always favors the player, so it's one hell of a power fantasy, and I really appreciated it. Shelia is like the monster and the enemies are her prey, and for 90 minutes I had a fun time chopping them to bits with both my melee and ranged attacks. The first thing, though, that caught most people's eyes when Bright Memory and Infinite were announced was the graphical sheen on everything. The game was developed by the one-man FYQD studio based in China. As the credits roll, you see that studio name for almost every aspect of the title, along with a lot of Unreal Engine market assets, internet content, and epic content listed. The only area that really isn't just him is the solid but very short soundtrack and the mediocre voice acting. This is a very pretty game, though the art direction is kinda bland. It makes sense overall, being as most of this game is created with assets purchased off the internet, but it's so damn pretty with the optional ray tracing on that it just works. There's also a 120 FPS mode available as well, though you will need to manually turn off VSync in the settings for it to work. This is a more polished package than Bright Memory was, as that one had a bevy of normally PC-only options on hand, which was interesting to fool around with, but showcased just how basic of a port it was. One area that is not polished is stability. In a 90-minute game, I had it crash back to the home UI or just freeze in general 5 times. Hopefully this is something remedied with a day 1 or early patch, but as of now, beware that the product I played is just not stable. Thankfully, the game does checkpoint your progress very often and everything loads quite quickly, so even after a crash, I was back up and running in roughly 30 seconds. As of the time of this review, I do not know the price for release on console, but the game is $20 on Steam after it was released there late last year. That price feels a bit steep for such a short game, and I'm hoping at the very least that it's not more expensive on console, being as this is the Platinum Edition and is filled with very horny DLC outfits and cool looking weapon skins. In conclusion, Bright Memory Infinite is a short but fun, big, dumb action game. It doesn't have much of anything in the way of replayability, but it feels pretty good, looks really good, and as long as the price isn't too bad, it's worth checking out. Not only for the solid, overpowered feeling action, it's one hell of a weird-ass ride that I was very glad to experience. Thank you so much for watching, and if you can like, comment, and subscribe, we'll love you. We'll see you here next time on XboxEra.